Hi, it's me again with Corel tips and tricks. Here's a pretty cool seamless pattern that would give a lot of people a little bit of trouble drawing these curlicues, but it's not really that hard. So let's take this and just move it out of the way. And let's take an ellipse. And I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. But I'm going to go right here and I'm going to go 90 degrees. No, you know what? I'm going to go 75 degrees. And that only gives us that part. Now we're working in the center of the page, so I can Control D, Alternate C to have it rotate, but I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And see, that gives me a little space. Now I'm going to take an ellipse somewhere about that size, and I'm going to grab the four-sided cross, and I'm going to have it snap to it right there. Now, this should be 90 degrees, so I'm going to Control D and make a duplicate, Alternate C, and rotate that 90 degrees. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and take out part of this circle. So I put a line, I'm going to take the virtual segment delete key and delete that. And then I can delete that line. So I'm going to grab that now, Control D, Alternate C, and rotate it 90 degrees. And that put that exact copy again. I'm going to Control D, Control D. So there's our curlicue is going to be a little bit smaller than this one, but that's really fine. Now, we really just have to, I should have made the circle the same size, but I tell you what, since that's not grouped together, let's hit the plus key and mirror it, and then put this, get the four-sided cross and put it like right there. And then I can Control D, Alternate C. Okay, that's what happens with Control D. Control D, Alternate C, and rotate it. It's already at 180, so we're going to go 270. Control D, Control D. Now, we need to make these lines thicker. I'm going to go ahead and weld them first. So now it's all one unit. I'm going to make them 36, well, that's too thick, 12 points. And we have that. Now, we're at an angle. Mathematically, we ought to be able to turn it maybe a negative 10 degrees. You get it, and that's the way I would do it, just bring in an indexing line in the center of the page and then just kind of ballpark it. So we can, and you know what, I got a bad joint right there. Let's fix that while we're here. Let's take both these nodes, go up to Windows, Dockers, and Join Curves, and put OK. See, that fixed that. But the other ones are going to be the same. Well, you know what? Yeah, they're going to be the same. So I should have done it pre-hand, but since you already got it set up, just select it. You can see the two arrows and making them one arrow. Now we need to rotate it. There's probably a mathematical person out there that's kind of laughing right now. That's close enough. Now let's take an ellipse or you can do anything, a rectangle, and hit P, and then Control D and rotate it 45 degrees. And this is where you could almost do anything. Now I'm going to take both those shapes, and because the others are welded together, they won't touch them. So I can do that, and then I'm going to make them that 16 points. Let me move this out of the way. Now group this together, Control G, and rotate it 45 degrees because I want a flat side on this side. I'm going to go to Object. Well, I can't do that. I'm going to go to Effect or Object and ungroup them, and then select them all. Go up to Object and convert the outlines to an object. And by doing that, now you can left click, right click. Now I'm going to make this thing I'm going to group it together, make sure it's grouped. I'm going to make it 2 inches. Whoop. But by doing that, and see, by converting them to an outline or the outline to an object, and my curls are a little bit different, but we can figure that out. Now, I want these two lines to join. So I'm going to get my parallel dimension tool. I'm going to go from the inside on that node all the way to the outside on this side, and we're at 1.98. So I'm going to change my nudge factor to 1.98. So it's exactly what I did before. And then that way I can control D and move it over. And by doing that, well, it's not perfect, but it's close enough because it's a curve. I'm going to hit the control D, control D, control D. Now we can weld this. I'm going to go up here and weld it. And what welding did is take away and made that one line right there. So then, you know, if you were going to cut this, there you go. We're going to make it yellow, take away the outline, put a black box on it. I was going to steal the other one, but just make a new black box. And I mean, we're just touching the iceberg, what you could do with this object order back a page. I mean, that's pretty cool. You know, the things around the object, but you could still go further. Let's back up here where we only had one. And, you know, there's so much more you could do to this thing. You know, you could, well, let's tell you what, let's group this together and hit P, put it in the center of the page, which it magically is. Take an ellipse and hit P. See, and you're going to change the whole look now. And then maybe make that, I think we used, well, remember we made it like 2 inches, so now it's going to be a lot different. And I mean, you could make that, let's hold down the shift key and have it actually touch there. Go up to object, convert the outline to an object, left click, right click, no fill, right click outline. And now let's weld that. And see, now you have a total different look. You've got these triangular curved parts, and you're not done. You could just keep going. Well, let's do this. Let's take, you know, instead of breaking this apart, take your Smart Fill tool and fill that in. Hold down your shift key and just bring that in, and left click, right click. You could actually rotate it. I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to control D and make a duplicate and just bring it in. That's almost, I think it's touching. And that wouldn't really matter because you could weld it. Now these last two were lines. So we need to go to object and convert them to an outline. We don't really have to in this case because we're not going to change the size. And you could keep going up here. I mean, I just did a video a couple of days ago on that. Let's take a 2-point line and go from that node to about there, from about there to about there. And let's take the Smart Fill tool and move that, fill that in. Let's nudge it over. Let's left click, right click. I don't like the little curly cues, but let's go to take this and go effects and contour to the inside 0.1, and not a big deal. Let's go 0.2. I just don't want those curly cues to really come into play too big. So 1.5, still too big. 1.2. Wow. I don't see how that really made any difference. Now it's saying that 1 point is too much. Too large. Oh, I had 1 instead of 0.1. Maybe that's what I did wrong. Let's go back up here. I want a little bit, 0.15. There we go. All right, we're just gonna have to go with 1. But there's other things you could do. You know, it doesn't have to be actually this. Let's do contour at one time, 0.1. And see, now you got these little rectangles. I would go and break the contour apart and then grab these two and just move them over and then get rid of your lines. And then these two are still grouped together, Control D, Control Alternate C, 90 degrees. The only thing we didn't do, we need to make this oh, I forgot how little we're working, but turn it into a outline. Well, don't really have to do that in this case because the fact that we're already small, but they're still grouped together. So Control D, Control D, alternate C, 90 degrees, and see it's putting them perfectly in there. Now I would Control G to group them, Control D to duplicate it and nudge it over. Control D, Control D. I mean, look at that now. Control D one more time. Hit the plus key or Control D. I always hit the plus key first. So my inner lines are a little bit thinner than the other ones, but that doesn't, or maybe they just look like that. And then take all this and weld it. It's going to take just a second because it's quite a bit of welding. And then as soon as that's finished, I'm going to turn the inside yellow. Take away the outline. The outline kind of takes over for the when it's that small. Object order back a page. Yeah, it didn't fill in the yellow white. Maybe I didn't convert those to an object, but you get the idea. Um, that doesn't look half bad as it is. Yep. Object order back a page. That looks pretty cool. I actually kind of like it. As long as those aren't cut lines, and we're a little bit off right there, but that kind of adds to it in a way. And then you could add more things in this space with the contour tool, and you could just keep going. Anyway, I hope that gave somebody an idea someday, and thank you for watching.